The show.
The show.
Show business.
Show business. It's that show business. Show business. It's that show business.
Hey, you guys. Let's just get right into it because we got a lot to cover. I'm so excited that today we're doing a show business live pop-up with your girl, Shonique Sneed. And if you guys have not checked out this podcast before, you can listen to the first season where all podcasts are listened to, Spotify, Apple Music, and you can get a lot of information and a lot of cool stories about cool choreographers and people in show business, period. And Carmit did the first season. She was actually my first guest, but it has been, as you guys all know, crazy since the end of last year and just 2020 period. So with everything and the quarantine and the shutdown, I'm keeping the show business podcast going, but I'm doing it live. And this is, I believe, my 4th episode. And I'm extremely excited to bring on my next guest, which is one of my dearest and closest friends, talented, beautiful, a go-getter. I mean, I said she is a PussyCat Doll, like, for life, because she's a kitty cat. I was like, you've got 9 lives, girl. We're going to get to know Carmit prior to her dance and singing career. She was a rhythmic gymnast. She has been a dancer for some of the most iconic artists in this world, including her Virgo twin, birthday twin, Beyonce. And she, as you guys all know her for being a famous PussyCat Doll, and they are back. They're on a pause right now like the rest of us, but she's an OG, and I'm just going to let her break it down for you guys. So just give some love to my bestie, Miss Carmit. Hey.
What's up?
Hey.
Hey, I love that you were playing Snoop. So good.
Hey.
What's up?
Let me stop this. All right. So, yeah, that's how we'll get into it. West Coast all the way. Hi, boo.
Hey, boo.
Hey.
I listen, it's so crazy because this whole quarantine thing is really making, it's giving us time to I've been digging in the archives, let's just say, last night.
Yep.
Well, because you actually asked me for some pictures, right?
I did.
Oh my God, I'm just laughing at, like, the thing about Instagram Live is, like, once you go on and you look at something you don't like, you can't fix it, right? I'm like,
hey, should we do cute filters right now?
I'm down. How do you do that?
Okay, so see the little smiley?
Yes.
And then go and find you a cute filter, and then we can have a...
This one's one of my favorites.
Okay, I'm
gonna... It's like hello, but no, I need to, like, find, like, a regular one that's, like, not too obnoxious. How do you... Ooh. Is this sparkly? No. Oh, that's...
No.
Oh my God, that's called blinding lights. No,
I found my filter.
Jolie's out. Ooh, I got black and white. That's cute.
That's black and white. That's cute. But then you're going to have to shift it because we can't have black and white the whole time. But the black and white was cute. We need a little, okay.
All right. Anyways, whatever. We'll leave it.
Okay.
Leave it. So, so digging in the archives, this whole thing has just been so nostalgic. I mean, I've found some incredible stuff. I'm, like, freaking out, but it's really made me go back and be like, wow, I've just done so much. And life has moves so fast that for a long time, I just never went back to, like, go over or review. And I remember I used to get, like, my mom would be like, give me a copy of this, give me a copy. I'm like, oh, I don't have time for all that. I'm, like, doing so much stuff. And I'm so glad that she stayed on that and collected all the things that I did, because I literally forgot, like, half the things that I did. It's kind of insane. But it's cool. So I've been looking at pictures and videos, and I just really need to transfer all that VHS stuff to I don't know what. Not DVDs, but
you would do a file. Just get it on
digitize it, like, yeah.
Exactly. Yep. I've been doing that already. That's exactly what I've been doing. I did the same thing. I started finding old archives, and to be honest, first off, welcome, boo. I mean, damn, we round two.
Right? I love it. Congratulations to you.
Thank
Showbiz, full visual
Ness.
effect.
Business.
Business.
Yeah. But you guys, welcome Carmit, one of my dearest and closest and oldest friends, and we're gonna get into some stuff that would be hilarious and some of our days before everything just kind of exploded. I guess that would be the best thing to say. But
Yeah.
I think what I wanted to do was let everybody know, first off, your name. You know, I don't know. I know you have your stage name, so you don't have to tell your full name if you don't want to, but hometown and just kind of like who Carmit was growing up before we get into the business, the show business. And like what you said with the archives, that's, to be honest, that's one of the things that inspired me about doing this podcast and about doing the IG Live. It's going back because I forgot half the stuff. I'm like, wait, we did that. You sent me some pictures last night. I don't even remember who the person was we were hugging. I was like, wait, I was like, who was that? You know,
but I did send you pictures of us dancing with Quo.
Yes, you did. And we're going to get into that too.
Okay.
That was okay, but back it up. Carmit, let everybody know, give them your name, hometown, and break that out. I guess how we met too, because this is how it all comes together.
For real. So basically, okay, Carmit, Malay, Bachar. My middle name is Hawaiian. Born and raised in LA, West Coast, West Side. Grew up here, and that's how I met Shonique when I was 17, or I was 18 and you were 17.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It was basically, that was it.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I'm a straight Cali girl, you know, spent a lot of time on the beach, on the west side, like literally the west side is where I still live, you know, and it's like it's just a part of who I am all day. And we were very deep in, I think, the sort of hip hop culture in the 90s era coming up. That was kind of where we both came up, you know, doing jobs, even working for artists, dancing for artists. And it was so fun. Like, that's such a big part of me. And
so much fun.
But at the same time, I found pictures of me and Robin too. So I met her, you know, in the 93-ish. And that was also brewing alongside my career. My dance career was the PussyCat Dolls, you know, which were kind of growing and evolving, and we were cultivating it as an underground, you know, show here before the whole next chapter of the recording group. So that was ingrained in my identity as well, you know, being a PussyCat Doll. So there's this kind of like that side, and then there was like the thug. There was the thug in me.
Exactly, absolutely. And you do. That's one of the things that, you know, I think makes you unique. You have a lot of different, I call you the multifaceted thing. And I think our besties, our tribe are like that anyway. We're pretty multifaceted in a lot of different arenas, just genuinely, you know. But you were hip hop, but then also the burlesque, sexy, you know, foundation, I guess, the vintage part. But let's go even before that, because we're talking about
we're chameleons.
Absolutely. But let's go even before that, because we're talking about hometown. Tell us a little bit about your mom and dad and your background, because people don't know your nationality that much, I realize. You know
really?
what I mean?
I feel like I say it all the time, but you know,
I know, but
it feels like that.
I don't get much. Like, we don't talk, it's not, well, go ahead and bring it at least to this particular thing, because I think you do, but it doesn't get doesn't get sealed. You know what I mean? Because your identity is more like the redhead.
Right.
That's true. Doll, but your identity doesn't not go into like Pacific Islander. You know what I mean? So
right.
Other.
Other. I mean,
but just that background. You know.
My mom was born in Indonesia. She's mixed, Indonesian, Dutch, Chinese, and my father is from Israel. So they both met here in LA. But I was born and raised here pretty much, but you know, we're all very multicultural. I was just talking about that with somebody recently, and it's just like, we're all a big soup nowadays. You know, we're all mixed. If you ever do your genealogy, which I did do by DNA tribes, it was amazing, because the number one highest percentage, you have a million things that you're comprised of. The highest percentage was Tunisian. I was like, so
I did. Mine was from the Bahamas or something.
Really?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I know. But
I was talking about,
it was Caribbean, and then before that, like Mali, Africa is like
oh,
where the, you know. But
I love that.
yeah, so that was crazy. So then, and tell us a little bit about your dad dancing and like some of his, you know, mime work and stuff like that.
Yes, my dad was in love with Gene Kelly, and he saw him in the movies in Israel, and he used to like ditch school to go sneak in the movies and watch him because he was obsessed with dance. And so when he moved from Israel to the States, he came to New York, and somebody had given him a referral to work with Bob Fosse. And I was like, Dad, my God, he didn't end up doing it because he got a job in a club. He didn't have any money when he came here, and he got a job in a club, and they were like, would you open up for this whatever show? He was like, yeah. And he just started from there creating his own thing. He did a lot of pantomime work in Israel with Marcel Marceau. And then coming to New York, he had a really cool story, just falling into, you know, jobs and working with Elvis Presley and dancing and doing, you know, movies and TV and stuff like that. He didn't even speak English very well. It's interesting. I know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, anyways, when he came to LA, he started a dance company called Hadarim. It was an Israeli folk dance company and he met my mom, and they got married, and they were on tour for 14 years, 7 of which I think was before I was born, and then 7 after. Basically, I always say I grew up on tour because I just remember being in the wings, watching them dance, and that was that's what I grew up with, watching them perform. So it was kind of innate in me, and something that they always supported me in as well, you know, knowing that I had a passion for it, which was great because I think for me, you know, being born cleft lip and cleft palate, I had a lot of you know, I dealt with a lot of bullying. I cried a lot. You know, when kids are like, well, what's that? What's that?
Right.
You know, and I had to explain myself. And I think arts and dancing, especially performing, you know, I performed with my dad a dance when I was 3 years old, where we did lifts and this stuff to You Light Up My Life. And it's the cutest thing. And it's like that kind of stuff is where I found my connection and just feeling fully expressed and you know, just free of any of the conscious things that I was dealing with, because growing up I went through a lot of surgeries and I was in and out of the hospital, and you know, it's like a crash course in life. You're like, well, what is different about me? You know, why? What? You know, is so, but again, you don't know that that's not the normal either. You know what I mean? It was just, but
so if you could give a little bit more of an example. Well, first off, before we go to that, because I want to get a little bit more of an example about your cleft lip journey as a child, and then also the organization that you're a part of for it. But before that, what was the tour that they were on? Was that Elvis, or what tour with?
Oh, no. My dad hit the company, Hadarim. They toured and they did performances all the time. And it was just like,
and that was the 14 years of basically being on tour, them 7 years and then 7. Dang. So yeah, you're right. They were born on tour.
No, but my mom and my dad did like movies and stuff together. My mom modeled and did commercials and stuff. And then, so yeah, it was part of like growing up with them, which is really cool. My dad had albums on the wall. You know, my mom still has them. He did like, I don't know how many, at least, I don't know, like 10, at least 10. He got a deal with Capitol. This is like back when, I mean, he created his own lane, you know, it wasn't his music, but he was having some original music made, as well as using certain music that he would create choreographed dances to, and then would sell the records. He got a deal with Capitol. I'm sure he got a crap deal.
He basically, I mean, he did. He came up. He was like how people are doing, what people are doing now. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
entrepreneur. You got to create your own brand. Yeah, and you know, so he's
like somebody I know.
Well, you know, we all have to do that, but I was definitely inspired by them for sure. And my mom and my dad both taught dance for the rest of their lives. I mean, they still, you know, they're both retired now, but like that was their career. My mom taught in the LA Unified School District for over 25 years. My dad taught all over the world, you know, Israeli folk dancing. So it's been a part of, you know, my life for sure. And I'm fortunate that they support me, because I know that there's a lot of people that don't have their parents' support. So yeah.
Oh, definitely. Give us a little bit more of an, tell us about what cleft lip is, and your a short little journey, if you can, about like, how you dealt with it and then overcame your breakthrough from it.
Well, I
Uh-oh, you're a little
mean,
bit, I think you paused a little bit, Meanie.
oh, I am.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I went through numerous surgeries, and repair surgeries, and I did a lot. Oh, there's somebody that says, yes, Miss Van Minen was my dance teacher at Bancroft. Yes.
I think that's the twins. It's either Shauna or Nikki Miller,
Oh,
Courtney's sisters.
Budley, Miss Budley to you? Oh, okay. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Courtney's sister? No way.
Yes, twins. It's either Shauna or Nikki. Yes.
No way.
Yep. They're in.
I actually found pictures with Courtney last night in my going through my archives, and yeah, like crazy. It's crazy from Hamilton,
from
high school. But anyways,
So
yeah, going through this.
What is cleft lip for people that don't know what it is?
Well, cleft is basically when something in the womb, it doesn't completely form, doesn't complete. So like, it could be a cleft heart, it could be it could be anything. But in my case, it was cleft lip and palate, which is the third most common birth defect, where your lip doesn't completely close and your palate, the soft palate up top, doesn't close. So gotcha. It's open. So it's open to the nasal cavity. So, and it could be a small cleft, or it could be full cleft, or it could be bilateral, which is both. Oh, wow. Okay. Which could be all the way open. So there's many different variations. I mean, they've come a long way in what they can do now. Gotcha. And so all my life, I was definitely involved with organizations and kind of giving back to, or speaking at different events. But when the dolls kind of got a good, amount of notoriety, I was able to contact Operation Smile and become an ambassador. It's been, 12 years now, at least. And I've been on missions, and, grateful that I got to go through the process with some of these kids. I went to Bolivia, and I was able to go, pre-surgery, in the actual surgery room with them, seeing how the doctors do what they do. And it was very cathartic. It was intense. And then I was able to hold these kids post-surgery and know exactly what they were feeling. And it was really, really intense, but healing in a way, because one of the mothers was like, can you be my daughter's godchild? They're just like, it was so beautiful to know that they were now going to have this new renewed sense of life, from a surgery that takes 45 minutes. It's incredible. Wow. But it definitely affects your self-esteem, and everything that you experience becomes your perspective. It's a lens that you end up seeing life through. Just like everybody, I feel, has something that has been, that's life, that you go through something that affects you, that becomes your story, so to speak. Right. And it can be traumatic, or it can be something that you, like you said, break through. And I was able to kind of, use my passion, what I love, dancing and singing and performing and, interacting. I'm very social, and I'm an optimist. I mean, I like to interact with people, connect energy. Like, that's big for me. So to be able to do that on this platform now in my life, I'm just so grateful, because it has helped me push through and realize that my cleft is part of my character. It's part of who I am. It's made me stronger. It's made me recognize, maybe I would have been more superficial or something if I didn't, what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's a part of your character. It's a part of your testimony. And then also, you made awareness, and even though now you're making it awareness on like a public platform, you made awareness with just your best friends. I had never heard of it before. So like with me having like a bestie, and then you're like explaining, so it made it like a normal, which is what I guess everyone's doing now, making what we don't know, once you understand it and you have a friend that's going through it, then it's now a part of your situation. So you've been making it an awareness from the smaller and now to the public. So
yeah, I mean, look at these, there are a lot of people on like TikTok who have like millions of followers, who have probably some sort of handicap or something, or they look different, and they are killing it because they're sharing themselves. They're sharing their light,
themselves.
through whatever they're going through. It's really crazy. And I love seeing that. Like, it's powerful because people are interested. They're intrigued. They've never seen that, or they didn't know that that existed, you know? And people put an initial stigma on things. Oh, that
Yeah.
person's not just
When they,
different. If they're like different, they're like handicapped in a way that they think they're not normal, they can't do normal things. And what I love about TikTok is that there's these people who are just like, they're like doing the savage dance, and they're, you know, and they're maybe like smaller, or don't have an arm, or don't have a son, and you're just like, whoa, it's I
express,
expressing
express,
myself. I love
and
it.
express themselves. I know. I love that.
I
So
love it.
speaking of yourself, your first expression was competitive gymnastics. Let's get right to it. Tell everybody how you got into rhythmic gymnastics and then how you got out.
Right.
That part.
I started artistic gymnastics. I was always, my mom said I was always on my hands when I was a little girl. So by 5, she put me in artistic gymnastics, and I did that for about 5 years, tumbling. I had a couple spills. I remember doing, I under rotated for, I did like back handsprings across the floor. And the last one I overextended, and I kind of landed on my head and like crumbled, and my neck cracked, and I was like, ooh, okay, that was kind of scary, but I was young and I was fine, you know,
but
fine.
still.
I did a back handspring on the beam, and my hand slipped off. So I like kind of landed, and I was like, okay. And then I had to start getting this insecurity, fear. And I'm like, this is not like, there's this risk involved with it. And it was just not like fun, like I wanted it to be anymore. And then I saw rhythmic in the Olympics, and I was like dying over it because there was this beautiful ribbon and the equipment, and it involved dancing. And I was like, my mom, I remember being in the pool that day, or the day, or I don't know if it was the day or the day after I saw it on the Olympics, and I was just doing rhythmic in the pool all day. My mom was like, okay, I got to find her a gym somewhere. And
so
so
a ribbon and a ball, and
I was creating my own
in the
thing.
morning. Yeah.
And
Shauna and Nikki, both of the twins are in here right now, and they said they remember you dancing with the ribbon and the ball. We all do. You were
yes, hey,
girl with your ribbon and your ball.
Yes.
We loved it.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, so
Hey,
my mom found me a gym and enrolled me, and I started competing immediately because I already had an advantage I was dancing, and I had done gymnastics. So I already was like, it just was like, it clicked for me. So I started competing. I competed from the age of 10 to 19. I mean, ironically, when you're like 19, 20, you're old in gymnastics, you know, which now I understand, because your body is so limber when you're young, and that's when you can do everything and anything. But yeah, I was national team. I did group for world championships and the Pan Am games, which is a whole different level. Group routine is like 6 people, and my dog keeps peeking, and it's hilarious. And and then I did the Olympic trials, and I placed 5th in '93, and that was sort of my exit.
Nice.
Yeah, they only take the top 2, but you know, I'd had an incredible career. I traveled, I had competed, and it's a very competitive sports is a whole other realm. Like, I'm a performer, so I took pride in creating new elements, in designing my leotards and my music, and you choreographing the routine. Right. Yeah. Getting the crowd to be like, yeah, you know, and then you make one mistake in one of the 4, you know, whatever routines, or 5 different apparatus, and you go from like, you know, a top position to like, you know, bottom or whatever, you know, just like that, because it's so it kind of, I phased out of that world because it was like not really, it's more of a mental sport for me, and I wasn't like, I wanted to have fun. So I was also dancing, and I had auditioned for something with Vince Patterson.
Yep. So move right into the dancing, because you know, you did even with just that little small piece, you made a mark. So that's what's so cool. Like, that's part of your legacy. You know, you gave me those, I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm looking at and I'm like, I knew you right after that, but it was like still at the end of that part. So I feel like I said, your 9 lives, like, I've seen you through so many different lives.
Yeah.
So what was your first gig? Let's go right into, what was your first?
I auditioned for something when I believe I was like 14, 15. Well, I was dancing at Paradise, which is a studio in Encino, and I was dancing with Russell Clark, beautiful friend of mine who passed away, choreographer, and he used to have people come into the class, and Julie McDonald was one
Yeah.
of the first dance agents at JHR. She came in, I was 14, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're fantastic. I would love to bring you on." I was like, amazed. I was like, "Whoa!" My mind was blown. But I wasn't really prepared to do the emancipation thing at that time. It's not like now all these young kids work and it's a whole different ball game.
Absolutely.
Homeschooling and the whole thing. It was like I was still in school, I was still doing my thing, and so I signed on at 14. I was young, but I really didn't start working until I was like kind of 18. I kind of waited.
Yeah.
I was like, I might as well finish school. I was still competing in rhythmic, so I was
Yeah.
still focused on that. But I did join Marguerite Derrick's company, The Vibes, when I was like, I think I was
Wow.
16, something like that. And, but my first official job, which I was trying to look through the archives last night, was
Yeah.
a movie with Richard Gere called And the Band Played On. It was a little scene. I think that's what it was. I swear to God, like, I've done so much that I was like, what came when
What was
first?
it? Exactly. Man.
But
Okay.
yeah.
So now you've gone into your first gig and now you're starting to get the taste of being a professional dancer. Like you said, because I feel like you were transitioning, right? Almost at the same time of exiting rhythmic and then
I
going
was.
dancing. And then me and you met
Yeah.
at
And
that time at an audition, Motown, no, Robert
Robert
Town.
Townsend. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, and so I did. What was cool is into the dance world. My transition was that my little competitive. I mean, my edge was that I had rhythmic, and so people always laughed, but I would like pop my trunk and pull out my ribbon and my ball and my hoop and my rope, and I would do all this stuff. And I also had a bunch of tricks that were like acro kind of that people hadn't seen yet from the rhythmic world. Now
Absolutely.
everybody does everything,
Right.
but
Exactly.
that's what set me apart. People are like, "Oh, do you tumble?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can tumble, but I can do this other shit, and it's really cool." And so I even did ribbon on Beyonce and on tour.
So
Yeah.
tell me, so what came first, Ricky or Beyonce?
Ricky came first. I met Robin Anton doing an Herbalife industrial. I want to say it was like 93.
So tell me, but before you go on, was it
Well, no, it was not that. That's the thing. So I met Robin. We did an industrial. She's like, she's like, I have this idea for this show, inspired by Sweet Charity. It wasn't called the PussyCat Dolls. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to do it. We started doing some stuff, some underground shows like House of Blues and Glam Slam, like.
right?
And then she was like, oh, I'm going to choreograph this tour for Ricky Martin. And I was like, who? She's like, he's on General Hospital. He had not crossed over. This is 94, I believe.
Shit.
And he was like, he was still doing only like South America tours.
Right.
So she choreographed, it was just two people on tour. It was Stella and me, Stella and I. And we did a total rhythmic moment in it, and it was just like, a different world. So I knew Ricky from back then. In fact, I probably will post a picture of him. He's got like this big fluffy hair, and I got like the Bjork knots. It's crazy. And then when I came back is when we really kicked off like the PussyCat Dolls thing, and like I think it was like 95 was when we started really like doing more shows and more shows. Ricky then called me back to do the Vida Loca thing in 99. That's when he was like, come on the world tour with me. And I was like, hell yeah. So
so we were calling you, like everybody was calling you, the La Vida Loca girl.
Yeah.
Because basically like what we were talking about. Hey, Key's in here. Hey, boo.
No, not Stella Cho. Stella Angelova.
Yeah, Stella Angelova.
Yeah.
So everybody was calling you that because the song would come on and this was like your theme song. Like you would just walk.
I would shake around. I'll be just like shaking around. Da, da. I popped out of that trunk. That was one of the best tours, though, by far. Like, that goes up there. I mean, aside from being my own artist, as PussyCat Dolls, like, Ricky's tour was by far the most incredible because I think it was before the era of when there was no more money in music.
Right.
And there was a lot of money in music, and we were all, there was a huge band tour. We had the best tour buses. We all stayed at like, the best hotels, 5-star hotels with Ricky. We all had our own rooms. This is so, the irony, I don't know if you know the story. Frank Gatson always tells the story. It's freaking hilarious that when I was on tour with Beyonce and we were doing stuff, and then they wanted us to go do Fade to Black, with Jay-Z in New York. And they were like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, but we want you guys to stay in these rooms and share rooms. And I was like, wow, I'm a grown ass woman. Why I got to share a room? I was like, I just got off tour with Ricky Martin and I have my own room, like suites. You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I sharing a room? And they all tell this story, like, oh, she's a diva. She wants her own room. But Frank told me later, he was like, Beyonce respected you for that. I was like, that's right. You know what's up. I'm a grown ass woman.
Grown ass woman. Exactly.
When we were younger and like, rookie love in the business, it was fun to share rooms. And if you choose to share a room with somebody, that's different. But when you're forced to share a room in New York, when the rooms are like a box already, I was like, and anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Because it is. Rookie love is different. When we were rookie love, we'd be like bundling it up. Oh my God. You know what popped into my head? This was really crazy, but me and you went to like do a quick gig with Candyman. And and then I think the club got shot up. So he left in the middle of the night and then we ended up leaving or something crazy.
We have many shootout stories. What is that about? That was like some West Coast shit.
You guys, that's the one thing about West Coast. When we were growing up, we kind of were growing up during the shootout time. So me and Carmit would go to the club. We'd be like, hey, pop, 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 pop. And we literally
duck and be like, ow, like crawling out.
Running. And have to like roll out.
We were like, you look down the street and they'd be like bouncing the cars and you're like, oh shit. It's like
that,
pop,
really,
pop, pop.
That really was our life.
I'm like, what the hell?
Crazy, but we got out of there alive and danced and then went back the next weekend. We're like, hey, what you do Saturday?
Totally.
Scoop me up. What?
And I ended up at your place the night of the earthquake.
Earthquake. Oh my God. We had
after the club. We were there until the janitors kicked us out.
In Los Angeles. Me and Carmit went to the club and I was in college, but I didn't go back to the dorm. The club was closer to my mom's house. So me and Carmit said, hey, let's go to my mom's house and just crash since it was so late. And then it was the biggest earthquake ever and the scariest thing ever experienced.
I just remember being sleeping on your couch in my shirt and my G-string. So when we ran outside, I was like holding the shirt down and it was freezing and my car was locked in your garage underneath.
Yes.
So we couldn't even get into the car because all the electricity was out and we were just like, that shit was crazy.
We've gone through some stuff. We've gone through some crazy stuff. I mean, from 9/11 to
oh my God, that's right.
In New York. We're in New York the day before 9/11, but we've gone through shootouts. We've gone through earthquakes. We've gone through 9/11. What's so cool is you've got the shot of you dancing for Ricky Martin with the Twin Towers on the side of you.
I know, and that's epic.
Now, there are no more Twin Towers. So, I mean, you're a legacy. You're a legend, girl. So speaking of legend, this legend, Virgo Nation. I'm surrounded by Virgos. I love y'all.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you guys are anal as hell, but it's amazing. I was gonna say you're Beyonce's birthday twin. They share the same birthday.
Yes.
But what was the very first thing when Beyonce came in? And I don't know if you guys, I'm sure everybody knows, especially Carmit fans, that Carmit came through with Beyonce.
Hey!
Walked in and then hey.
No. I'm popping it, you can't see.
A 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she also was in this one.
That was it. Walking, tipping, tip.
Yes.
Tip.
Hey.
But I just saw you had Ashley.
What about this one?
Oh yeah. That's what this.
Hey.
Hey. How you feel?
Hey. So yes, before,
Crazy.
for if you
Right.
guys just joining in, Miss Carmit, gymnast, moved into dancing, gigging, forward into Ricky Martin, La Vida Loca girl, queen, moving into Beyonce, crazy in love, baby boy. Take us to Beyonce times. Give it to us.
Wow, that was a moment which I'm fortunate to be, because it was her breakout solo moment, and it was a huge cattle call, and just I was pretty much like what they consider, people always call me the white girl, and I laugh
Right.
because I'm not white, but I'm light in the sense that coloring wise. So
Absolutely.
I guess,
Exactly. Casting wise.
casting wise, right?
Yes.
So, but yeah, that was an amazing moment. It was so fun, and I would love to tour more with Beyonce, because that energy, she's a perfectionist. She works her ass off. I remember being in rehearsals with her, and we always had to wear our heels the whole time, and then one time she was like,
The whole time, guys.
the whole time. Like, I don't wear my heels the whole time when I rehearse. I put them on like
Yes.
after I learn everything, and then going into full mode. But so basically, she was just like, I remember one time she was sitting there and she was like, "I see you, girl. I saw you in the PussyCat Dolls." I was like, "Oh shit, okay, she knows what's up."
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
it was cute. So, but that, we were kind of also coming up and building. So it was like simultaneous, because honestly, we had signed a little something, we had signed with Interscope, but not, we were doing things here and there, shows. We were, in the studio sometimes
Right.
not. So me coming from working full time nonstop, that was what I love to do. And I was just like, if I was going to get offered a job, obviously I didn't take a lot of things, but when Beyonce was an opportunity, I was like, yes, I'm doing Beyonce. And the other thing that I did in the interim before we dropped Don't Show was Janet Jackson's Super Bowl.
Exactly. And I was just about to say, okay, so now we talked about her top 3 gigs, and she was
Lou?
like, Ricky Martin. Hey, Lou's in here. What up, Lou? It is Ricky Martin, and you said it was a tie between Beyonce and who were the other ones?
Well, no, you asked me my 3 favorite. My top was, I would say, Aaliyah, Rock the Boat. That was the top, because there's a lot that gets integrated into that experience. I mean, I think I was just telling Tanika the other day on Instagram Live.
Yes.
I've never asked for a job in my life, but I specifically called Fatima like months before, and I was like, "Yo, I know you always hire guys to dance with Aaliyah, but like, if you ever do anything with girls, like, let me know, because I love her, and for some reason I just feel like I need to work with her. Like, there's something about her spirit." And then that transpired, and she's always been the source of strength for me. So that's by far my top gig. And then of course PussyCat Dolls would be my second slot, because it's been part of my identity in my life and my career. So that's huge. And then I said it was a tie between
a three-way
tie for the third between Ricky, Janet, and Beyonce, because I mean, they're all amazing and have all impacted my life in iconic moments. And I mean, I'm just grateful for having an incredible career prior to the Dolls as well, because I felt like that also taught me so much about artistry and being in industry, and how it works. So I was prepared. I wasn't just thrown into the Shark Tank, and so I think a lot of people respected me for my relationships. And I know a lot of people all over the world. Like, we'll go to like some random country across the world, and people will be like, "Guy, people everywhere." I'm like, because I've been in the industry, grown up in LA, we work with so many people. So, but to me, that speaks volumes when people have good relationships with people, not just like on a celebrity status, like, "Oh, I know that person, I'm cool with that person, take a picture with that person." No, like, I have like real authentic relationships with people, and that's cool. Like, I can call people like for real and have a real conversation, not the service conversation.
That part.
You know what I'm saying.
Of course I do, love. So Aaliyah, because we didn't touch into that, and
Yeah.
Lisette on here a couple of weeks ago, and
Steady. Yes. Love
well, she's
Steady.
here right now, but she was actually on Show Business
Yeah.
Live a couple of weeks ago, and she talked
Yes.
about Aaliyah and just shared a few things, some of her moments. Do you want to share any moment that maybe, fans haven't gotten a chance to hear or whatever, something special, but not anything that you wouldn't want to, like Lisette, of course, certain things are private that were just for people that were a part of that. And then there's certain things that you just want to, say that might be a cool moment to give people like a nice,
Yeah.
feeling. All of us love Aaliyah so much.
I love it. Emma said, I feel like we need a Carmit autobiography.
Oh,
That's cute.
you do, girl.
That's
You
cute.
do.
That's cute. I love it. All the PCD fans are incredible. Thank you guys for showing up. I know a lot of you stay up late to stay and
Thank
watch
you.
this, so thank you. Yes.
For Philippines, they're 1 a.m.ers, 4 a.m.ers. I mean, they came through.
Yeah, they're like, we're not sleeping tonight.
Thank
I
you
love
guys.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
for girl, Carmit, always. And they got you covered. And I
Yes,
love it.
and Shonique too. She is, yeah, they're saying, we're icons. It's true. Shonique, you have such an incredible career, and this is such a cool next evolution of your artistry and connecting with the people that you have genuine connections with as well, because that's who you are in the industry. You made such an impact with your, creating ops and transforming people's lives in maybe through dance, but for their life. Like it's transitioned into their life and how they do whatever they do and choose to do. Yeah. So, gosh, it's funny. I've spoken about Aaliyah twice on IG Lives. And the first time I said something about her, and the last sentence I said was how much she impacted my life. And then my phone died. I was like,
wow. Okay. Gotcha.
and then the second time I was talking to Tanika about Aaliyah and said something about how she's been, whatever, a source of strength in my life. And then the IG got cut.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And I was like, okay. And then we brought it back and I'm like, okay,
Okay.
but just a testament. What?
Chill.
What'd you say?
I said, well, we can chill.
Right. No, she is we one of the things we were saying is that just how strong her spirit still is to this day.
Absolutely.
Even for people that weren't born when she was alive, that didn't know her, she is still so very present. And there's something very angelic about her, and she transcended, like time and space. I don't know if that makes sense, but that experience was definitely intense. It was a marker in my life. It was literally, August 25th, which was right before September 11th, so, and my birthday was right in between there. It was a very powerful time in my life, 2001, where a lot of information came in, and a deeper connection for me into like why and what I was doing, what I was passionate about, and to stay on the course and to stay tuned in, if you will, and ironically, everything in life, when it starts picking up quick, like the dolls, everything happens so quick. You lose, like you go on tour and everybody wants a piece of you and you're moving so fast at turbo speed. So much happened, and it's like I lost myself a little bit, and I had to do a lot of work to kind of come back also. I mean, that experience had its own things that I had to repair my spirit with as well.
Period.
Yeah, there's just, it's life. I mean, everybody has experiences and PTSD from whatever they go through, and I'm just mixed in with the good things.
Of course.
How do we turn it over so that, I mean, I always say I choose to remember the good things, the good parts, right? But it's not like you ignore what happened. You have to acknowledge it and work through certain things, and that's our life's work. That's our life's journey. So I think that
you can stop it right there. That's our life's work. That's our life's journey. And your life journey of week moving in, because you know how these lives are. 10 minutes, they're going to cut Cut us
Okay.
off.
Okay.
But
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
say thank you so much for sharing that, because for me it was a interesting time because you guys are my besties, and you guys were roommates. I'm waiting for a phone call because I was supposed to pick you guys up from the airport. So
Oh
at
my
least two of you guys, that little situation is still connected to like the two,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? Two of my best friends in the world. So it just is, it's very, so that's the only reason why I bring it up for her and for you, because
Yeah.
that is a genuine connection in that
Yeah,
time.
Seti and I were roommates, and it was shock. We were in shock. I remember being in the room. We were just like silent, watching the news, and just going. And we couldn't get through to anybody. We couldn't reach anybody. That was weird. You know, we didn't have
That's
like cell phones like we do now.
right, right.
And I remember Kevin. You know, I was with Kevin, and he was on tour with. He was on. Oh my God, what was the group? Diddy's group. That group that I think Lou choreographed for. Lou, are you still
Yeah.
here?
Oh,
Dream,
Dream.
Dream,
Dream.
yes,
Of course. Me and Luther were talking about that. Luther was here. Shout out Luke Brown, you guys.
yes,
And that both of those are on YouTube already. If you want to check out some of the previous lives, they're on YouTube for Show Business. Luther,
yes,
Lisette Bustamante, and then
both.
Ashley. Um,
Yeah,
Ashley.
actually, exactly. Ashley
Yeah,
did Beyonce. We're all like interconnected
it's all
somehow.
interconnected. And then my cousin Saba's, hers will be on. Yep, Luke just said Dream.
Yep,
We were talking about that on your interview.
because
And then
Kevin
yes,
danced for Dream, and he was on the MTV tour, and they were all in like some Hummer limo when everybody got the information, and Kevin thought that I was on the plane
of
because
course,
we were all supposed to go back together.
exactly.
And we of course went overtime. We were on the yacht and we went overtime. So they were like, forget it, we're just going to stay here one more night and fly out in the morning. But
Yep.
Aaliyah was like, no, she wanted to get back to Damon, I think, you know. And so her immediate team went back with her, you know, hair, makeup. She had a family friend from the church, somebody from the label. Like, she had her little team.
Mm-hmm.
So they took a little speedboat off the yacht and went back to the thing, got their shit together, and got on the plane thing. And because they had to rush because there were no lights on the damn runway. We were like in Marsh Harbor, like it was, you know, small island. And for the rest of us, we were like, oh well, it's not like we had to get back to go anywhere. So we took the boat, sailed back to the dock.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
one of the moments where we were like, this is the best fucking gig we've ever been on, ever. We had playtime on the island before and after, and we were just sailing. And Fatima, for the first time ever, didn't go with Aaliyah, and she was her best friend. She was like, I don't really have to go back right away. Zuli is, you know, like she had this thing, but like for whatever reason, she didn't get on that plane with her.
Yep.
You know, and there are reasons for things, and I'm so grateful for the experience. But it was definitely traumatic, but I have turned it into a source of strength for myself. When I listen to signs and when I hear things, and like I said, her spirit is still very, very powerful, and it's still here. So I think that's true for a lot of people.
I love that, and we thank you for that. So then now you've moved into doing all these different, you know, your dance career, and then you've been doing PCD on the vintage club circuit, and then now they've got the recording deal, and everybody goes wild. You're a rock star. And
I
then
called you. I remember calling you.
what happened? Tell me. I forgot. What
I
happened?
called you when we signed the deal. We were like, oh, this might happen. And then when we signed, I remember I called you. I was like, Shonique. I was like, oh my God. Like, it was crazy, right?
That's right. You were like, oh my God, I do remember this. That was crazy. But we got to fast forward because everybody knows that part. That's the part they know as far as like, okay,
Right.
killed it, boom, bam. Then there was a time when you left because it was that time. And then things resurfaced. And then from there, you guys 10 years later are like, we're back. And then 20 million views later of performing on
X Factor,
London, killing it. I mean, I was like in tears. I you know, it was like we're watching my mom. We're all like, oh my God, you guys are like falling off, doing death drops, water splash. That was like the most production that I've
Yeah.
ever seen in one piece in a long time.
It's probably
And
the
I do
most production
creative.
we've ever done in
It was
general.
unbelievable. So tell us about the experience of you guys now back and then now paused.
Yeah. I mean, basically, in a nutshell, it was incredible. I mean, you know, obviously I had a kid during that time and sort of stepped away from that world. And it was honestly, it was a little difficult because pursuing anything, you know, with a child, you can't, it's not like I wanted to go out on tour and leave her. So it was kind of hard, you know.
Hi, Kay,
Um,
Mwah. Auntie
she's,
Shella.
she's in the other room, but I'll tell
Uh,
her. But yeah, and then you know, the talks about coming back were really, really exciting, but logistically it was really complicated. You know, there's a lot of things and pieces of the puzzle, but when it finally did happen and we came together, it was like falling right back into place, and that fire and that synergy was there, and we worked our fucking asses off for that
yeah.
performance. It was 4 minutes probably and something, and we did like the most we've ever done, all the elements, the hardest choreography, you know, all packed in one medley. It was intense.
Yeah.
But
and not having been together for 10 years and what, rehearsed in a week. Remember, we were talking throughout the whole time. You were like, girl, we got to do a split now. We're doing a back now. It's a death drop. We got to try the water. It was like,
Lou said I sent so many, Carmit, so many messages after watching that. I was so happy to see her back smashing. I love you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
hell yeah.
there were a lot of messages I missed. I apologize. So it was a whirlwind, and from that moment it was a constant whirlwind, you know, like right back into where we left off, which was cool. And given that we're all so like up for it and ready, I mean, Kim just freaking had her third baby. It was insane.
Ooh. And came back snatched.
So, you know, we all have a work ethic that I think, you know, stems from having the experience and having done it before, which is great.
Work ethic. Say that 3 times.
Work ethic. Work ethic.
Work ethic. Work ethic. That's my new single.
Which, you know, anyways, yeah, that's a whole other, to go into that thing. But yeah, so we were on a roll. We were just kind of getting so much momentum, and literally the day that I flew back from London was the day we were supposed to start rehearsing for the tour. And it was such a disappointment, but you know, it was what it was. Now looking in hindsight, I'm like, I wish we would have like gotten a house and all done like a you know, like a Big Brother kind of like, like quarantine together and
exactly.
create it. You know what I mean? But we didn't know what it was going to be.
None of us knew.
And I was really like, I can't be away from my family during this time, not, you know, when it's uncertain. So, you know, we had to do, but we'll see. We're definitely going to be coming back. We are definitely going to be doing those tour dates. Like, they're not going away. It's just, we're all in this.
You guys hear that? They're definitely coming back. They're definitely doing those tour dates. You don't have to worry about that, but it's going to be when it's going to be. It's going to be that time or whatever.
Right.
But all I know is when you guys came out and everybody was just kind of hearing.
Yeah. Hey, I make a scene and get upset. Hey, that's my. It's a bop, right?
It's a bop. When this came out, everybody said, "Oh, okay, these bitches is back for real. They're not playing." Hey. Okay, everybody's going crazy in the comments right now.
You guys are so cute. Sometimes I can't hear it. Call me closer. Call me back. It's cutting in and out.
It's cutting out?
Yeah. Yes.
Hey.
Yes. You know, so that was a whirlwind for sure, but we need to do more. You know, we'll get to it.
Do more. So
now
is your TikTok life, girl. You have you've turned in your life for TikTok. You're obsessed. Remember our first one? Our first one was the Savage Challenge. We were on FaceTime, you guys, like we were back in the day, going, okay, let's figure out this Savage Challenge. And that was for me the funnest part. Me and Carmit laughing,
trying to learn it. We were like,
trying to learn the Savage Challenge. And then once that was done for me, I was like, peace out. I think I'm gonna do another one soon, but with
Girl,
you know,
there are so many.
Carmit is killing it. Tell us about Kayala, my little baby, and tell us about your family at home and what you're doing. You got like 2 minutes to tell us before we hit it. But
well, basically, Kayala.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, Kayala started by wanting to do TikTok, and now she has like barely any interest in it. And now I'm hooked. You know, it's funny.
Of course.
But you can waste a lot of time like looking at it. And there's so many, and I'm like, oh, I want to do this one. Oh, I want to do this one. But it's like each one is a setup that you got to like plan and then learn. Like it's fun to learn the choreography, but there's a lot of them. They are fun. You could get really lost in it. So.
What have you been doing during the quarantine? Because you got a homeschool, you're doing, and you're homeschool. Girl, what do you have to like learn math? Is it hard?
She's getting better at figuring it out and doing it all herself and then turning it in. So we finally found our little rhythm and routine. Yeah, I don't know. I'm honestly like I'm just kind of getting tired. Like I need to, I'm ready for something.
For something, absolutely. So what about I guess let's this is a good time for questions. I want to get a few questions in because we're gonna tell everybody how much. Oh, wrong, but we moved. There we go. Nice. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Let me get my
yeah.
You.
I mean, honestly, I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. I'm ready for things to kind of move forward. I know that it's a lot of they're saying questions. Are there questions? Let's look at the questions.
Yeah, let's see. Where are there questions? Tony Braxton and Music Awards.
Oh wow. Did somebody ask that?
Somebody just said talk about Tony Braxton, the music award, American Music Awards.
How
for BTP online. I'm not sure what that means. I don't have a question. We learned a lot today.
Wait, BTP? Somebody said BTP?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Broadway Theater Project. Yes. I will be helping this year with Broadway Theater Project. That's incredible. Deborah McWaters. That's an incredible organization with Herman Payne. And this year, like everybody's trying to transition, they're doing it through Zoom. So it's not going to be an actual like camp that they go to,
Gotcha.
So I will be helping with that. It's just a new format. We all have to try and still be the creatives that we, desire to be and do the things we want to do just in different format for now.
Yeah.
For now, at least.
The drinks with PCD. What is the drinks? The drinks with PCD?
Oh, the happy hour thing?
Maybe. I don't know. People are asking about, hey, you got to do the drinks with PCD, or what is the drinks with PCD? I'm not sure what that.
Oh, you're talking about. They're talking about. We have a new it's like gonna be basically our IG series, kind of where. Yeah.
And it's gonna be called Drinks with PCD. Can you give us any little tips on it? Can you give us any?
We have different. Well, it just be it's like a fun chat because we all can't be together right now, and we'll have a guest, and so it's gonna be it'll be fun. You guys, it's coming really soon.
Any questions, guys? Hey, why did you have the PCDs first time and made the return? I couldn't understand that one. It went fast.
Oh, thank you. I think
learned. Oh, what's something that you've learned during the quarantine? And have you learned any new hobbies?
What I've learned is that you should not start drinking too early in the day.
Exactly. Because I was like, have a mimosa ready. Remember I said that for this, but instead I ended up with.
Listen, I did it the other day.
I ended up with instead. I was like, I told her to have a mimosa ready, but I think I'm going this route.
I did it the other day for Andy's birthday, and it was like margaritas. And by like 9 p.m., I had the worst headache. I was like, oh. So I'm chilling on the drinking, but,
I hear you.
That was happening a little too often just because we're bored, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Oh my
anyways,
God, my sister just said laughing my ass off because she knows. I was like, nah, we're gonna do a La Croix. Any more questions? Serious question. When can we get new PCD merch?
it's
With the dolls
coming, it's
come back
coming,
to,
it's coming
it's
soon.
coming. Would the dolls ever come back to Belfast?
Yes, of course. That's definitely on the map for our tours when we redo the UK dates. So as of now, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. We still are in that uncertain moment, so I can't give you any information on that. But it's Belfast will be there.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, Meaty, leave the show business audience with something. I don't know, a little note, a little mood,
Oh, a little mood.
a little melody.
Oh, okay. I know. You know, people when I did my IG like the first time, I think I did Don't Chat. Everybody was like loving it. So I'll do Don't Chat, and you do the recalls. Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Here we go.
Okay. Ready? Okay.
Yep.
I know you like me.
I know you like me.
I know you do.
I know you do.
That's why whenever I come around, she's all over you.
You.
And I know you want it.
I know you want it.
It's easy to see.
It's easy to see.
Hey! And in the back of your mind, I know you should be with me.
Oh,
Go! Don't you sing it!
Not like me. Hey,
Oh!
girlfriend was a freak like me. Let's
Like
go.
me.
Don't. Hey. We said,
Don't you, baby?
hey, boom, boom, boom.
Get it, so.
Hey.
Look at you getting all freaky. You say,
Swap, 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 swap.
Yes, girl, we have danced together so much.
We have danced together so much. You know what? A cute little fun fact. You guys got to research this because I know the Carmit. Hey, Luther said, "Sing it, show." Yeah, you guys, you saw my little melody there. I tried to hit that.
She's like,
couple of fun facts. Good Burger. Me and Carmit were in Good Burger together. Another fun fact. We were in Next Too Close music video. Oh my God.
Grinding. I get so excited. Who's that?
I like it. Kinda got it. Take it real close. Shout out to Jamal Sims. We got to get him back on there. He's on my season. What? But I said we shout out to Jamal Sims. We got to, and Rosero who choreographed this. Yes.
Yes.
Guys,
yes.
Cool little. They said that's a bop. It sure is a bop. Next Too Close was a bop.
Oh, and then we did Fly for a White Guy together.
Oh my God, we did do Fly for a White Guy. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. All the good that I'm pretty
rock for a white guy. So cute.
Man. So Too Close. You guys got some research to do now because now we gave you guys homework. So you got to go find Good Burger. You got to go find Next Too Close, and you got to go find Pretty Fly for a White Guy. So you guys give it to me, baby. Yes. You know what you did talk about a little bit was Gwen Stefani and No Doubt.
Right.
Because that was a nice little piece of the puzzle that connected everything in. So at least give little Gwen a shout out because that connected a couple pieces.
I mean, God, Fatima hired me for No Doubt's bathwater video. It was the first video they ever had dancers in, and we had so much fun. And I just really clicked with the band and Gwen especially. We were kind of like the same realm, you know, like our styles, our vibes. Like she was just like, she's from OC, you know, she was kind of like with the boys. I mean, I even found last night pictures of myself from high school, and it was like dudes, like all my homies were my boys, you know what I'm saying? Like like, so it was kind of, we just clicked, we became really close, and we started hanging out, and I told her about the dolls, and she was really the key person that transitioned the dolls to be with Interscope when she did the doll show. So I love her. I'm so proud of her. Another person that has transitioned and reinvented herself in this industry time and time again.
Time again.
I
Time
mean,
and time again. Since the
yeah.
beginning. And what's the transition was so cool because Luther's in here right now. Shout out to Luther, who is her creative director, choreographer at the moment. He's been killing it with all of her now. And then now Carmit had the, some of the original stuff. Me and you remember when we did the we did bathwater for what award show was that? And we went to Vegas with Fergie.
Oh yeah, I don't remember what show it was, but we were wearing the sailor stuff and
yes.
with Fatima. Yeah. It was so cute. And Tracy Phillips.
Robin. No. Well, the sailor stuff was Fatima, and then we did that other one with Robin.
Which one? Oh yes, the Billboard Awards and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes.
AMAs. I can't remember. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, we did.
But basically, I mean, she's been definitely a big person, connected to the reason. I mean, we went on tour. The dolls went on tour with her first. Right. She finally did the show. And then she brought us on tour, no doubt. And then we got signed with Interscope, and then that transition. So there's been a lot of like pieces of the puzzle and people. And even thinking about that now, it's like, I feel fortunate to have worked with incredible artists that have not only given me something that I feel has been really special in the way of like taught me something valuable, but also they themselves have maintained being a force in the industry, from Ricky Martin. I mean, Ricky has sustained like this incredible career, Beyonce, Gwen, you know what I mean? Just like Janet, like
reinvented themselves time and time again.
Yeah, it's inspiring. And there's because now everything's so fleeting. Like artists are so hot one moment, hot they're not. You know what I mean? So it's kind of it's cool to see that, and I aspire to be that way too. Hopefully we can continue to do this, and so it's been an honor to just come back. I can't even explain the feeling. The girls, we've all been having our own lives, and now coming back together, we're stronger. So I just hopefully we can kind of keep growing, and hopefully we can all do more music together, because that we're separate right now, so it's hard to get that together, but that's the plan. And
you guys, oh my God, you guys, give it up for my amazing bestie. I mean, damn, been around the world, and ayayaya, the talented and the one and only Carmit. Yeah,
thank you, Mama. And the show, Neat, the showbiz of the show
live. Woo, thank you.
Not right.
If you guys are real Carmit fan, you guys are real. If you guys are Carmit fan, we're gonna end with this.
Oh, hey, all right. Hey, who you love. I cannot hear it. Keeps breaking out. Something. Hey. Can't hear it.
What about now?
Yes.
How far will you go? 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 How far will you go?
Hey!
That's how you end alive with Carmit. Thank you guys for tuning in with my girl on Show Business Live with your girl Shonique Sneed. I love this woman right here. We have been around the world in ayayaya.
I love that.
Tours. We've been on tours.
We talked about that.
Shootouts. We've been in shootouts.
Right.
Earthquakes. We've been in pandemics.
When I think of you, and I mean, we will have to find, before you post this like on YouTube, we'll have to find our Dookie Braids picture, because like we've got Dookie Braids from Crenshaw, like circa 1997 or 8, right? Something like that. Like that's OG. Like
OG. And we had Carmit had the gold braids. I had the black braids. We had cross colors on, and we were on Crenshaw
back to back
like this. And we cannot find these pictures, so we're gonna search for those pictures so we can share them with you guys. But like I said, all your fans I'm telling them they've got homework, and they said they're excited to go and do their homework. So go do your homework. Find Give It To Me Baby, find Pretty Fly for a White Guy, find Too Close, find Good Burger, tag Carmit, tag me. And thank you guys for being here. Show Business Live. Carmit, I love you.
I love you, boo. Thank you so much. Congratulations for doing this show, and I mean, many more memories to make moving forward after we get out of this moment. So I'm sending you love. I love you.
Love you, boo.
Cause now you're all I see. All the truth is if you prove your love to me, take all of me.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Show business. Yes, that show business. Show business. Yes, that show business.